Hello, my name is Sarah Johnson. I'm the Cataloging and Metadata Librarian here at the library. This session is going to focus on citing in APA. I'll go over the importance of citing, what to include in your citations, and helpful resources that you can use going forward after this session. Why cite? It's important to cite to give credit to others as you are creating your own original work. This will help you avoid plagiarism and all of its nasty consequences, and it will also create a trail of your research. You can use this to show that you've researched your topic thoroughly and are contributing to a scholarly conversation. APA style was designed for scientific research, while MLA, another form of citation that you might be used to, is primarily designed for humanities disciplines. There is a new edition of APA that was released in 2019. Prior to this update, citations were being created based on tools and techniques from 2009, over 10 years ago. While not everyone has switched over to the 7th edition, or you may have a professor with a preference for a previous edition, it's going to be important for you to ask your professors what their preference is for your citations. This new edition includes guidelines for writing without bias, which is appropriate to our age here in 2020, and it also includes sample papers. There are a lot of new reference examples to help you as you create your own unique citations. And there are recommendations for only one space after punctuation at the end of a sentence. Previously, when writing a paper, it was common practice to include 2 spaces after the end of a sentence, and that is now gone. So what is in a citation? There are 4 key things that you need to include in every citation that you create. First off, you need to know who wrote the work or created the work. This could be an individual, it could be several individuals, or it could even be an organization, which is often the case with websites or government documents. You also need to include the when. What is the publication date? If you have that information, put it in. Next, put the what. What are you citing? What is the title? And then finally, conclude your citation with the where information. This is the source of your information. For a book, it might include the publisher. For a journal, you'll have the journal name, maybe a volume and issue number, and a page range. And then if you have a website or a DOI associated with your source, you need to include that here as well. Now I've outlined an example citation highlighting each of these individual sections. We have our who's, our authors here, the publication date, the title, and then the source, which is a journal, the Journal of Higher Education. I have the volume number of 75, the page range, and a DOI. Now, as outlined on that last slide, there are 4 different sections in an APA citation: who, when, what, and where. After each section in your citation, use a period. An exception is at the end of your DOI or URL. If you put a period at the end of the link, it can interfere with retrieval. For authors, the APA format is to use the last name, comma, first initial, and if there's a middle initial, you'll include that as well. An example is Johnson, comma, SR. And as I had mentioned, some authors may be organizations. In this case, you'll list the whole name of the organization, being as specific as possible. If the National Institute of Mental Health is part of a greater organization, we're going to use the specific part of that organization. For the 7th edition, in your citations, you can now include up to 20 authors in the citation. This allows for more people to be recognized for their contributions to a work. After the 20th author, if you have maybe 24 authors, you will include the names for the first 20, and then you'll use an ellipsis or a dot, dot, dot to skip to the final author. All dates are placed in parentheses, and there are various formats you can use. You might only have a year, such as 2018, or maybe for a journal or a newspaper, you'll have additional information, such as the season or a specific date. If there is no publication date included at all, then you can use the abbreviation ND for no date. The titles of your work are going to be in sentence case. That means only the first word is capitalized, the first word in the subtitle is capitalized, and proper nouns. All other words will remain in lowercase. If you have the DOI or URL, always include that. It will make it much easier for your reader to retrieve any source that you're using. You may be thinking, I have seen citation generators. Why do I have to go through all this work? The truth is, many of these citation generators are only using the metadata that has been stored for that item. These are often incorrectly formatted. Note this example citation, copied and pasted from Academic Search Complete. Do you spot any errors? Well, one of the most obvious ones to me is the title is not in sentence case. Instead, every single word has been capitalized. There's also a chance that this source had a DOI associated with it. If so, then that is missing as well. In addition to creating references at the end of your paper, you may need to create in-text citations. For every in-text citation you create, there should be a corresponding full citation in your references section. There are two ways to cite in text. The first one is called a parenthetical citation. This is when you are directly quoting a work or a person and using parentheses. An example, Johnson does in fact love dogs, would be created with the author and the year of publication for that particular source where the quote was retrieved from. And note the period after the citation. Another way to cite in text is to paraphrase a work. This often works better for the format of a paper, and you will simply be restating the idea from another person in your own unique words. This is called a narrative citation. And an example, upon completing his research, Bowen, note the publication date 2020, confirmed the fact that Johnson loves dogs. This is simply recreating that quote from above in a way that is more cohesive with the rest of the paper. There are quite a few sites that can help you if you get stuck. We actually have a print copy of the 7th edition of the APA manual. That's here in the library on the 2nd floor. APA also has created several sites that are very helpful. You can go view new posts on the blog, which often include updates and Q&A sections, or you can just look at the APA style page. The online writing lab by Excelsior is another great stop. In addition to having APA citation styles, they include other styles such as MLA, Chicago, etc. And finally, we have several electronic databases that offer citation tools or cite features. These will translate a resource that you're interested in into an APA citation. However, remember, these citation generators are only as good as the metadata that's been included in that bibliographic record. So if you use one of these tools, make sure you proofread it and make necessary changes to match the appropriate edition of APA. One of the library's newest resources is called Academic Writer. This is located on our databases page. You will need to register for a free account, but this will allow you to save your work. Academic Writer has short tutorials where you can learn about citations, research, writing. There's also a reference section that helps you with tools that can help you build and manage your references in APA style. And finally, the Writing Center is a great resource for actually starting a term paper or a research paper, as it provides templates already in APA style. I do want to mention that one of the coolest things about Academic Writer is all of the example citations. If you need to know how to cite a YouTube video, check an Academic Writer. If you need to know how to cite a blog, check an Academic Writer. Basically anything you can think of has an example located in this database. If you struggle to organize your sources, you are not alone. That is why programs such as Zotero and Mendeley exist. You can download either of these programs to your computer. Some of them have apps for your phone, and you can also work on the cloud if you go to zotero.org or mendeley.com. These tools help you save any sources you're interested in reading. You can make notes right in the program on those documents that you're reading, and you can generate citations. So it's a great way to organize all of your research. The programs do interact so that if you edit something in the cloud, you can then make that update on your desktop or on your app. So it's nice that they have that communication feature. We do have a session that was already recorded on the citation managers. So please look back on the university's digital workshop page and you can view those there. Now, I hope you have learned something useful regarding citing in APA. Please don't hesitate to reach out to me or the library reference desk for additional help. You can reach me at sjohns37@emporia.edu. You can also approach the library reference desk, which is located on the second floor of William Allen White Library. And finally, use our chat feature at emporia.edu/library. You can find a little chat box. Put in your chat. If somebody's logged on, they'll get back to you right away. If somebody is not logged on, then it will go into our email and we can respond to you as soon as somebody's available.